like any of you who are probably watching this, are also at your house, I imagine. So, we're going to read another story from our Jesus Storybook Bible. And I am going to be reading it with Lillian. Lillian, can you tell where you are?
4.
4. And do you like reading? Yeah, you like reading a lot. Do you like reading Bible stories? Yeah. All right.
I like listening to them too.
You like listening to them too?
And she's my mama.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to see how this goes. I will show you the pictures when I'm done reading each page because I got a little bit of a different setup going on here. So I'm going to read it to Lillian and then I will turn around and read it to show you the picture. So here we go. Our story today is called The Forgiving Prince, and it comes from Genesis chapters 37 through 46. Jacob had 12 sons, but of all his sons, Joseph was his favorite. One day, Jacob gave Joseph a splendid new robe. It was beautiful and rich with all the colors of the rainbow, but it made Joseph's brothers jealous. They wanted rich robes too. Then, to make matters worse, Joseph kept on having these special dreams. I dreamed I was I told his brothers down to me. Now I'm sure you know, even that telling your brothers things like that isn't a very good idea. Joseph's brothers hated him even more. They wanted to kill Joseph and his dreams. And one day, that's exactly what they tried to do. They tore Joseph's rainbow robe off him and sold him to slave traders for 20 pieces of silver. Show them the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see Joseph has his beautiful rainbow coat, and his brothers don't like that at all. Let's see, turn the page and see what happens next. The traders took Joseph to Egypt and made him into a slave. The brothers went home and lied to their father, telling him that Joseph was dead. That's the end of that dreamer, they thought. But they were wrong. God had a magnificent dream for Joseph's life, and even when it looked like everything had gone wrong, God would use it all to help make the dream come true. God would use everything that was happening to Joseph to do something good. Meanwhile, though, things were not looking good for Joseph in Egypt. He was far from home and from his dad. Then he got blamed for something he didn't do. And even though he had done nothing wrong, he was punished and thrown in jail. But God had not left Joseph. See the pictures? You can see Joseph's in jail down there on the bottom of the picture. One night, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, had a scary dream about thin cows gobbling up fat cows. What on earth did it mean? He didn't know. But Joseph was a dream expert, so Pharaoh sent for him. It means a famine is coming, Joseph explained. There won't be enough food. Pharaoh was so pleased by Joseph's skill that he immediately took Joseph out of jail and made him a prince. Now back home, Joseph's brothers had run out of food and everyone was hungry. God's special family was in danger. If they didn't get food soon, they would starve to death. So Joseph's brothers traveled to Egypt to buy food. They came and knelt before the new prince. His brothers didn't know that the prince was Joseph, but Joseph knew who they were. Joseph's dream, the one about his brothers bowing down to him, was coming true. "It's me," Joseph cried. When they saw it was Joseph, his brothers were afraid. They had wronged Joseph. They had sinned, and they knew it. Now Joseph would certainly punish them. But Joseph looked at his brothers, and his eyes filled with tears. Even though his brothers had hurt him and hated him and him dead, in spite of everything, he couldn't stop loving them. You can see Pharaoh in his dream, and you can see the picture, hopefully, of Joseph and his brothers coming to him in Egypt. His heart, which they had broken, filled up with love, and Joseph forgave them. Joseph threw his arms around them. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Behind what you were doing, underneath everything that was happening, God was doing something good. God was making everything right again." Joseph punished them. He rescued them. He brought God's special family to live safely with him in Egypt. One day, God would send another prince, a young prince whose heart would break. Like Joseph, he would leave his home and his father. His brothers would hate him and want him dead. He would be sold for pieces of silver. He would be punished even though he had done nothing wrong. But God would use everything that happened to this young prince, even the bad things, to do something good, to forgive the sins of the whole world. And there you can see a picture of Joseph forgiving his brothers. Now I have a question for you, Lillian. Who do you think the prince that God would send is? Do you know? You don't know? Who was punished even though he did nothing wrong?
Joseph.
Joseph, but who else later in the Bible? Who do we talk about all the time?
Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. Jesus is the young prince that would be punished even though he did nothing wrong, just like Joseph. Yeah, isn't that kind of cool how the stories connect like that? All through the Bible, and that's what this whole book shows us, is that through all of the things that happened in the Bible, God was showing us what his big rescue plan was. And that's what the book talks about in the different stories. Isn't that kind of cool? All right. What questions do you have about the story?
I'm kind of
What?
yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Comfy.
You're comfy? Oh, that's not a question about the story. You're just saying you're comfy? Oh, well, that's okay. Do you want to say who your friend is that you've got with you? What's the name of your friend that you've got?
Cupcake.
Cupcake! Yeah, Cupcake is our extra special guest. All right.
She's mine.
Yeah, she's yours. Well, join us again tomorrow. We'll continue to read through this awesome book, the Jesus Storybook Bible. If you don't have a copy of this at home, it's a great resource. I love the way that it tells the stories, always looking forward to the gospel message and relating all the stories back to Jesus and the big God story. So I really enjoy sharing this with you every day, and the next couple days we're going to be doing it together, aren't we, Lillian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. Well, tune in again tomorrow at 1, and if you are catching this on the replay, feel free to say hi in the comments and let us know that you and your kids are watching this. And remember, yesterday I asked kids to write in the comments what their favorite Bible story is, and I would love to know that, and you can do that on the bottom of this video as well. What's your favorite Bible story, Lillian?
My favorite Bible story is Mary and Martha.
Mary and Martha. That's a pretty good one. All right. Well, when we get to Mary and Martha, we'll make sure to make that one extra special for you, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So let me know what your favorite Bible story is, and I miss all of you, and I love that we're able to connect through this, but I also look forward to when we'll be able to be in person again and be able to read these stories together. So hope you have a great rest of your Friday. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I have one more thing.
Oh, you have one more thing to say? What's your one more thing to say?
I have a best cuddler named Lammy.
Oh, you have a good cuddler named Lammy. Yeah, well, I think you're the best cuddler, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that, we're going to sign off.